I was at a crossroad, and I pivoted, and I decided maybe I should go on my own. I mean, I've always wanted to become an accountant. I was 12
Wow.
when I knew I wanted to become an accountant. We have a front row seat
Yes,
in terms of how businesses are run in South Africa.
definitely.
How amazing.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Buzzing. We are so excited to have a special guest here, a fellow accountant in the industry. Willem, tell us a little bit more about who you are, how you started, and how you decided on your journey as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Desley, for the invitation, and I'm really looking forward to spend some time with you today.
Yeah.
And thanks for asking the question. So, I mean, I've always wanted to become an accountant. I don't think there's many people out there that know exactly what they want to do when they're in school. I'm one of those people that knew exactly. I think I was 12
Wow.
when I knew I wanted to become an accountant. And so
Amazing.
my subject choices at school were easy. I obviously took accounting and maths. Immediately after school, I went to university. Studied 1 year full-time. Then I felt like I was wasting time.
Yeah.
And so I started working with a big accounting firm the year after, and I finished my studies part-time through UNISA.
Awesome.
And qualified, and I stayed with a big firm for just over 20 years.
Amazing. With the same firm.
With the same firm.
Wow.
The last 10 of those 20 years, I was living in West Africa, Lagos, Nigeria. I made partner there. And then in 2014, I decided it's time to return to South Africa.
Sure.
And coming back, I was at a crossroad, and I pivoted, and I decided maybe I should go on my own.
Yeah.
And when I did it the first time, it wasn't super successful. And
Yes.
after 5 months, I decided, no, this is not for me. And I did some freelance work then with a German firm who wanted to open new practices in West and East Africa.
Wow.
So, and that's really where my entrepreneurial spirit
Yeah.
awoke. And I realized now I'm done with big audits.
Yeah.
I want to start my own business. And
That's
so
amazing.
End of 2016 is when we basically started the journey.
Wow. So that's apart from accounting, but what made you miss South Africa? I mean, because I think that's something that also pulled you back to South Africa, right?
What kind of a question is that? I mean, South Africa is the best place in the world.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No, just sincerely. I mean, look, going to West Africa at the time when I left, that was 2003.
Yes.
That was a time when most of my peers wanted to go either to London or to New York. That was where it was at, as they would say.
Yeah.
Nobody volunteered to go to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was at the time that made me go there. But we went, and it was going to be a 2-year project, and it turned into 10. And I actually stayed 11 years.
That's crazy.
So we never really planned to leave South Africa permanently. There was always this idea, we need to come back to South Africa.
Yeah.
So I think the key moment was when my oldest daughter, she was 7 months when we moved to Nigeria.
Wow.
And when she was about to go to high school, we had to make a choice. Do we want to stay in West Africa or come back? So that was the key moment where we decided. Otherwise, we probably would have still been there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Definitely. And so just going back to the accounting then, and you said when you were 12 years old. So what pulled you, I mean, what excited you at 12 years old to think about like, I want to become an accountant one day? What was it that pulled you into that moment?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think it would be disingenuous of me to say I knew exactly what accounting was all about.
Yeah.
So I guess I was influenced in some way by my father, who himself was a bookkeeper.
Okay.
My auntie on my mother's side, her and her husband, both chartered accountants.
Sure.
And so I guess it was also a family thing. My one uncle was the treasurer of a city council, one of the rural towns in South Africa.
Yeah.
And so there was something inside me that said, I need to sit in an office.
Yeah.
I need to sit by a desk, and I need to direct affairs.
Yes.
And in my world, if you're an accountant, that's what you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so when I started taking accountancy as a subject in Standard 6, which was called then, it's now equivalent of grade 8.
Yeah.
From the first month of taking accounting, I knew, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yes.
Because you can ask any accountant, what's the skill? The skill is being able to arrange things, organize things in a systematic manner.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my personality. I like boxes.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm able to get out of my boxes more often than not, so that I can then do entrepreneurial stuff.
Yeah.
Because those two things are different.
Exactly. So I mean, touching on that, do you think accounting formed you as a person in life, and like the way that you are a father, the way that you are a husband to your wife? Do you feel like that had an impact on that, or do you see that those are two separate situations?
They're not separate. I would say accounting as a discipline was a component of the many things that shaped who I am today.
Yes.
So yeah, accounting. Then I grew up in a certain environment.
Yeah.
I've got a certain worldview that developed over time.
Yeah.
Many factors influenced me to who I am today.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming out of a corporate environment,
Yes.
what made you think that I need to go into an environment where I focus on small businesses? Because a lot of, especially like young entrepreneurs, they want to focus on this big corporate job, right? They're thinking going to London, that's where they want to go. So what made you think like, I want to go into the small business industry?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because honestly, when I started my career, even when I decided to become an accountant, it was to get into a big firm, to build a long-term career, to make partner. And that's one of the reasons I stayed with a firm for such a long time. I never ever thought that I was going to be where I am today.
Yeah.
I wasn't brought up in a home where you run a business. My parents both worked for companies their whole lives. I've never been exposed to being an entrepreneur until very late in my life. So I would say the key moment where that changed was in 2016, when I was about to end my contract with a German firm.
Yeah.
And the two firms I was busy setting up, we were basically finished with the job.
Yeah.
And I said to the firm, hey, let's go and open another office. I like this, And that's when they said they're not ready to do another firm. Let's wait a few years. In the meantime, go back into audit.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, hang on, I'm not prepared to do that. I can't. It's like Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Once it's open, you can't close it, right?
Exactly.
And I really struggled with the idea to get back into audit. And that was my moment where I said, okay, well, for me, there's no alternative but to go and do it on my own. So I took a massive leap of faith, took a big risk, going from a very comfy monthly income to nothing. And I had to basically start from scratch.
Yeah.
Why small businesses? That's partly my exposure where I worked at the big firm for a good number of years. In my early days, when I did my training, I was in our small business division.
Yeah.
And so I got to see what it's like to handle the process from start to finish.
Yeah.
You interact with the owner. You get to understand how, as a business owner, they take risks, how they make decisions, what makes them stay awake at night, and all those things. And I can't think of a better place to be than where we are as accountants.
100%.
We have a front row seat in terms of how businesses are run in South Africa.
Definitely.
How amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I said there's something to someone the other day. I said, it's actually so exciting to do small businesses because you don't know what that entrepreneur is going to do.
Yes, 100%.
Right? So you always see the craziest stuff whenever you start working with a client and the way that they think, but it's so beautiful as well.
Yes.
So this is one question that we ask everyone that comes onto the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So what is the definition of success for you?
Ooh. You should have prepared me for this question. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I think the definition of success is framed by your worldview.
Yeah.
What do you value most? What's important and what drives your decision making? How do you see the world? If I can oversimplify it, I think you can, in one sense, say you either see the world as a victim of your circumstances, or you see the world as, quote unquote, a hero.
Yes.
And a hero being not a superhero per se, but somebody who's able to feel what they need to feel when it's appropriate. But once they've processed whatever they feel, is able to pull themselves up and get on with life.
100%.
So I think for me, success starts there.
Yes.
What do you do with life when it throws its punches at you?
Sure.
My wife and I are also at a stage in our life where we're not really chasing riches. And again, if you look at a corporate environment, success is climbing the ladder.
Yes.
And I've seen it so many times, both in my own experience, but also the clients I used to work with. I used to audit large blue chip companies with international subsidiaries. And it's, you know, and you see it. People are, you know, in their pursuit of getting to the top, they wouldn't think twice in stepping on other people.
Yeah.
So that's how some people might define success: the size of your bank account, number of achievements, and that might be cool and nice to do. But yeah, for me, when you go to bed at night and you quiet yourself down, what goes through your mind?
Yeah.
Do you have peace in your heart?
Sure.
Okay, and in your mind and all. For me, that's success.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And that's so important to have peace in your heart, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you can't have that part of the success and everything, then you are missing the mark in certain aspects and everything. So if your children watches this podcast, right,
Yes.
would you encourage them to go down the road of accounting?
No, not necessarily. I know my children. I've got 3 children. My oldest daughter is now 22. My son is 15 and my youngest is 9.
Yeah.
So just looking at their personalities, the oldest 2 definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't think it would suit them.
Yeah.
My son in particular, his personality is completely different than mine. He's not analytical at all. I think he would be much better suited for something else.
Yeah.
So our approach generally is to encourage them to find what makes them tick, what motivates them.
Yeah.
And then typically what I would say to them, make sure that you are the most enthusiastic person in the room.
Yes.
Because
Come on.
that influences other people in a positive and helpful way.
Definitely.
Secondly, remain curious
Yeah.
and see yourself as a lifelong learner of everything. Learn as much as you can of
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
And then thirdly, maintain your integrity at all
Yeah.
cost.
Wow.
Those are the 3 things. And so whatever that looks like in terms of how they then add value to the communities where they operate, more power to them.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess, you know, knowing Willem Haarhoff, I mean, he's an accountant, right? And he's a go-getter. I almost said you're a go-getter.
Yes,
because
thank
you
you.
are. And so, I mean, what I see, especially with, you know, the younger generation going into accounting, it does seem that there's a little bit of a problem developing in people wanting to come into an accounting practice. So if you can give some advice for younger people and to encourage them to get into the accounting industry, because it's such a beautiful industry when it's done correctly. Like, why would you encourage somebody to actually enter the accounting industry then?
Yeah, good question. So immediately my mind goes back to when I did my accounting training in the late 90s. I'm allowed to say that.
You can say that.
And again, just leaning into my earlier comment about where it was at in London
Yes.
or New York and pursuing those glitzy careers. I can count on one hand my fellow trainees
Yeah.
that did it because of their passion.
Sure.
Majority of the people did it for the money.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reality in South Africa is if you qualify as an accountant, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And I would say if that's your main motivation, please don't become an accountant. Then you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. You don't want that. So I think make sure you know who you are. Make
Yes.
sure that you are the type of person that can do it. And if you're that person, then I would say there's no doubt in my mind that you must become an accountant.
Yes.
Because the way we are trained in South Africa opens up so many opportunities.
Yeah.
It gives you options. Whether you want to maintain a technocrat, if you will,
Yes.
or if you want to gravitate more towards business,
Yeah.
you get both the best of both worlds.
Correct.
And I
Yeah.
just think the opportunities are then endless.
Yeah, that's amazing. So just before we finish off on this one, if you look at yourself now as a 12-year-old boy, would you say that you made the right decisions to be where you are now?
For sure, no doubt.
100%.
100%, yeah.
Willem, it's great having you. And that's from Willem. We're definitely going to have a next session in terms of buzzing podcasts as well. So stay tuned for more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willem.